Good afternoon. How are you? My name is Nicolas Frankovic and I'm a consultant in Orlogica. And many of you probably already know me from other webinars I have given. I would like to thank you for taking this time to participate in this talk that was born in part because of the comments you left us in the last session, and also because we have left out many ideas to implement in each department of the dealership. I remind you that you can leave questions in the question and answer section or the chat, and after the webinar, we will write to you to answer every doubt or provide more information. Also, I want to emphasize that many of the issues that we are going to see today are already solved in Autologica Sky DMS, our management software specifically designed for dealerships. So if at the end you want to receive more information about our solution, please let us know in the survey that will be sent to you. For those who don't know, Autologica Sky DMS is a management software for vehicle, agricultural, and construction equipment, motorcycles, and truck dealerships. It solves in a single software all the operational management and accounting needs and has functions that greatly enhance sales and the detection of opportunities, which translates into a very interesting return on investment. The ideas we are going to see today can be done using Autologica or any of its integrated solutions, but in case you don't have it, it will be good to take the concept and see how to apply them in each of your businesses. All right, before we get into detail with these 10 new ideas, I will give you a brief summary of the 10 ideas we saw in the last session so you can refresh this information. Analyze the trend and behavior of part sales, marketing and incentives to increase maintenance sales, push workshop efficiency with technology, enhance the routine of each service advisor, analyze and work on repeated jobs, offer a modern, agile, and closer customer experience, know and leverage the sales potential of your customer portfolio, parts and vehicle reservation, save time, money, and paper, and the last one, apply security policies to the dealership's information. After this session, we will send you today's video and the link to watch the previous one again. I recommend that for each one of you, you could ask yourself, do I do something for each of these points? The first step in creating new practices and strategies is to try to identify improvement opportunities or possible unexplored areas. All right, now yes, let's start with the first idea and tip of the day, reception checklist to upsell and survey customer satisfaction. There is a habit that is present not only in the automotive industry, but in almost all industries that have a direct relationship with customers. The reduction of in-person contacts replaced by virtual or online experiences. Surely some of the people here present have already seen the data that I'll share with you, but it is not bad to remember them. The latest studies, in this case published by Google, indicate a reduction in the opportunities to be in front of the customer in person, and that is why it is very important that on the few occasions in which this encounter happens, it is taken advantage of to the maximum. One of those key moments or point of contact is the reception of units in the workshop or the visit to the field in the case of agricultural dealership advisors. In both cases, a diagnosis of the vehicle is made to record the condition before repair, but also to detect other work and interventions to be carried out. This is a key contact where you have 100% of the customer's attention, and that is why it is necessary to take advantage of it correctly. So ask yourself the following question. How is the checklist we're using today? Are we generating more jobs than what the customer is requesting? How many? What is the rate? And just as important, are we taking advantage of this to find out if the customer will choose us again? Are we providing an unique experience? We must take advantage of the checklist of questions to learn more about the client, to ask if they want to do a seasonal job, to offer something that we know they may need, but they not express, probably, and to understand if it is a satisfactory experience for them. I want to show you an example of a classic checklist and one made with a tool designed for this purpose. In one case, we have a paper checklist with predefined questions, which then have to be entered into the system. That does not seem very productive, right? But in the second case, the Autologica checklist application, where questions are added or removed depending on the season or current promotions, and where a section was added specifically designed to know the customer satisfaction, offer alternative transport, consult their interests, etc. So the tool solved this, but keep in mind the concept of taking advantage of this instance to be more strategic. The information gathered from the customer, for example, can be used in the future for a specific campaign or can be passed on to the marketing team to work with. Let's go with tip number two, lost sales and opportunities in each department. Let's start with the fact that your management systems or work processes already contemplate the need to indicate every time a lost sale occurs along with a reason. This is the ABC of any sales management. As we often say, a lost sale is not the end of the process, but the beginning of an analysis to sell more. And this applies to the sale of parts, service, and new and used vehicles. Of course, the idea is not only to measure this, something that Autologica, for example, requires to move forward in many processes, but to work on this information strategically. Dismissing a lost sale forever is an unmeasurable mistake. A forgotten or ignored lost sale is to lose all the commercial potential of a new customer. To ignore the frequent reasons is to entrench erroneous processes. There are two things we must do with this valuable information. A specific campaign or can be passed on to the marketing team to work with. All right, let's go with the first of these two things. Analyze the reasons and work on them. If in parts the most frequent reason is lack of stock, it is possible to work on purchasing management. In a case we had, based on this information, we implemented order suggestion, an intelligent analysis function of trends and purchases to suggest strategic purchases, which not only reduced this reason but also increased sales. If in service the reason is lack of interest, we have to analyze how we are transmitting our know-how to each customer so that they see the suggestion not as a cost but as a transportation solution that is being provided. And in vehicles, depending on the region, the main reasons will vary. And since these are long processes, it is not only necessary to analyze the reason why a sale falls through, but also the stage at which it happens. We have detected that in some markets, price is the main reasons, and in others, it is a matter of processes that end up taking a long time. Salespeople and CRM, in this case, are going to have the more better information to create more successful campaigns. And create lost sales campaigns. As simple as creating segments of customers who do not buy grouped by a reason. It sounds silly, but it's something that it is often not done because you don't see the potential. If you use a CRM, maybe Autologicus or any other, take advantage of the fact that lost sales segments are automatically created according to the reason, which each dealer will define according to their audience and market, and recontact them with another speech, with another proposal, with another message. These campaigns can be carried out globally or one by one, but it is important to exhaust every last instance with each potential customer, because the benefit they may have in the long term, in case of converting them into customers, will cover the cost, sorry, of these actions. Tip number three, parts reservation and notify the customer when they can pick up their orders. This idea comes to solve a problem that we detected in the dealerships and that in our case we included in the Autologous parts model. The problem arises when a customer requests a part that is not available in stock, and therefore the order is placed with the supplier. It takes some time until the goods arrive, but there is a risk, and I will tell you what it is. Another customer arrives and asks for the same part, then the seller, who may be someone else, ends up selling it to the latter, generating discomfort in the first one who had requested it. So imagine for a second this person's dissatisfaction. He was waiting for his part, and when he comes back to, he finds out that there was stock, but it was sold to someone else. From here, he goes straight to another dealership and tells his acquaintances about his bad experience. To reduce this, it is necessary to have processes that easily help to avoid the situation, and if the contact can be automated, so much the better. At Autologica DMS, to avoid this, a feature was launched that does two key things. It allows parts to be reserved in such a way that in case another customer requests it, it cannot be sold. It incorporates the concept of stock available for delivery, where the available stock is found excluding what it is reserved. On the other hand, once the order of the parts comes in, an automatic email is sent to the parts manager or sales managers to contact the customer and tell them that they can pick up their order. This results in increased customer satisfaction, but also the streamlining of the key processes. Knowing what is going on in the workshop, not believing you know what is going on. At this point, it is important to remember the importance of always having at hand the indicators of the health of this department. After sales and service has a key role to play at this time, especially given the decline in vehicle sales in many regions. And to get the most out of this department, it is necessary to measure several indicators, adjust them to oil stages, and have a daily overview of what is happening at the moment. Sometimes a good result, analyzed 100%, may indicate that although it is positive, it could have been much better. So, what aspects should be analyzed? Efficiency and productivity by technician, by workshop, and stores. Shredding the analysis is key to detect if there are technicians who need more training or if they are more efficient in certain types of jobs. It is not enough to see a unified value because it does not show the complete map. You can be super efficient in one store and be well below the target in another, but if you see the unified number, you may be overlooking this problem. Rate of jobs billed by customers. This is important to know how the service mix is put if we are doing the most work for customers or if we are doing work whose cost is absorbed by the dealership, such as pre-deliveries or fleets. A very important indicator is to know the number of third-party jobs per month. We have seen cases where there was an average of 30% of third-party jobs in the invoiced repair orders, which means that the dealer is missing out on a large portion of invoicing. So this can be analyzed by taking reports from your management systems. In the case of Autologica, they are already covered in the analytics sections, which allows you to see all the indicators quickly. Other key tools to know what is going on in the workshop. If you use Autologica, you should already know them, and if not, it is a good opportunity to see them. Are these combo functions? Kanban to see in real time what stage each repair order is in. See that there are no stages that are being overloaded, and analyze those jobs that have been in a stage for a long time. The workshop manager's technician panel allows you to see in real time what each technician is working on, and in this way detect delays due to a lack of parts or lack of infrastructure, for example. It is even ideal for detecting idle hours that could be used for general tasks such as training, cleaning the workshop, etc. And finally, the job clock makes it easy for the technician to indicate the start and end time of each job using a touch screen in the workshop. This eliminates cumbersome paper timesheets where work hours are recorded. The right indicators and the right tools are the ones that give a true picture of what is going on the workshop and make it easier to act on any problems or obstacles. All right, let's go then with idea number 5, daily meeting to start the day. This is one of the many ideas that were shared at the 20 group talk of NADA, the National Automobile Dealers Association. This is a talk that is given every year as part of the Expo that is held in the United States, and the last edition was in Dallas, Texas. As every year we attend to see the news and trends in the industry, information that we have turned into articles, improvements for our solutions, and webinars. In short, in this talk, we shared a practice that sounds trivial, but it is very important. It is a brief meeting every morning between each team to find out what they will focus on that day. The format of these meetings is called Daily Huddle. It lasts between 10 and 15 minutes, and the goal is to focus on the objectives of the day. It is a way to define a goal each day, but also to indicate if any obstacles were detected and to share the key information of the day. The sales team. So, what is the objective for the day? What tasks will be the priority? What about the service team? Parts, administration. These meetings are the way to move from a passive attitude to a proactive one every day. In fact, this is a practice that we carry out within Autologica internally, and that is key to direct the efforts of each team towards a common goal. Analyze the facilities we offer to customers to make them choose us. This is a thoughtful but necessary task. Put yourself in each customer's shoes. How is it to inquire about a new vehicle? Are we easy to find? If customers need an appointment, can they make it easily? Do we take too long to set up an appointment for them? Do we allow them to do it on their own? Can they know in advance how much they're going to pay? Are we easy to contact if they have a query, and do we contact them proactively to avoid problems? These are just a few questions, and I am sorry to say that there are many more, but it is very important to think about the customer experience at each stage in different situations. And it is enough to draw the circuit on paper, maybe, and ask ourselves how we can simplify the process, how we can get ahead of the competition, and how we can include new technology. So look at these diagrams. In a new customer acquisition process, there are these stages. What do we do differently in each one? In a service process, there are these stages, and again, the same question. What do we do differently at each stage? In some cases, the answer will be habits. In others, it will be implementing technology or features that the goal will always be the same to offer an unique, comprehensive, differentiating experience that makes customers always want to come back. Tip number 7 of the day: having the most profitable stock that satisfies customers. The biggest cost of having a mobilized stock in the dealership is making purchases based on intuition instead of having strategic purchasing management. Strategic purchasing management takes into account sales ranking, volume, popularity, and seasonality. For instance, in Autologica DMS, we developed an order suggestion function that allows the system, based on data loaded, stock in stores, last movements, pending orders, etc., to calculate and suggest, according to trends in purchases and sales of parts, which purchases to make to always have an ideal stock that can satisfy purchases and customers' orders. This avoids making unnecessary purchases that increase the immobilized stock, and in addition, you will have an inventory that allows you to satisfy customer demand. This functionality is included in Autologica SkyDMS. So, having strategic parts management has many benefits. For instance, reduce emergency purchases, reduce tied up stock, and improve the fulfillment rate. It is a good idea to calculate stock activity, detect warehouses with a lot of unmobilized merchandise, and work accordingly to reduce the immobilized and depreciated money that may exist. Deepening data analysis, not staying on the surface. I talked about this point a little earlier, but it doesn't matter. Having a good set of indicators to measure from each management is key, and it is super important and valuable step. But now we talk about going a little further down. Business intelligence tools came to solve that need to dig a little deeper into each number, rate, and indicator and see what can be improved. Today, it is essential to have tools that translate the thousands of data generated in the dealership into simple conclusions that we can carry in our pockets and that can be used to make decisions. Once the ideal tool is found, it is ideal to be able to dedicate time or resources to analyze the information, and starting from an indicator that is good, see how it is composed downwards. To be more specific, look at this situation that we worked on with a customer. There was a big spike in sales in 1 month, all to celebrate. However, going down by that value, we found that the improvement was in only one store, while the others had a big drop in sales. So what was a celebration turned into a more detailed analysis of the decline in the other stores. Going further down the line, the problem was detected. One of the salesperson who was driving the most sales had low performance. So what this person absent, perhaps on vacation, was it a seasonal problem? Was this person not inspired? There are many variables to analyze, but they don't blossom if we stay at the total value. Have a way to dive into the data because there is a lot of material there on which to elaborate strategies, propose solutions, or synergize areas to generate opportunities. All right, we are almost ending. So tip number 9, saving time in the workshop. Let's go with one more service idea that we have seen implemented in several dealerships. It's all about being prepared in advance. Of course, it can be done with a system, but it can also be supplemented with a well implemented habit. When the customer generates the appointment, it is important to register what work he wants to perform. So with this information, the technician can prepare at the beginning of the day all the parts, packages uh, they will need. The advisor will even be able to identify if orders need to be placed in advance so that the work can begin as soon as the unit is dropped off. We also mentioned earlier that the technician panel is essential to save time by quickly detecting a delay. As soon as the workshop foreman sees a red bar on the panel, he will be able to analyze what problem needs to be solved. What if the problem requires more time that does not depend on the technician? In that case, that person can ask him to attend other jobs, get training, or perform general workshop, tasks. What needs to be eliminated is extensive idle time. Transform it into time well spent on tasks that are important or necessary and more productive. Okay, so the last idea, action, uh, tip of the day, the number 10, training to gain time throughout the company. This point must be understood as necessary and a gain rather than a cost. The best trained team is the one that eliminates repetitive tasks, that streamlines tasks and processes, that reduces queries to a minimum. All this is transformed in the first instance into time gained. Secondly, a skilled team is more motivated, wants to apply what they have learned, begins to cultivate the search for improvement, generates ideas, and is more committed to the leadership and the brand, right? And finally, everything becomes a better experience for the customer, who will have his vehicle repaired sooner, who will receive exceptional treatment, who will receive suggestions, and who will be accompanied by the whole team. Today, there's a wide range of offers for training, and they are usually not excessively expensive. So on our side, we propose that you tell your teams to train on our e-learning platform, which is 100% free and ideal for learning how to use the system fluently, in addition to learning about functions such as those mentioned in today's webinar. If you are already generating these training spaces, congratulations. If not, take it as an opportunity to start creating a training plan that will translate into advantages for your dealership. All right, so far, these other 10 ideas that we wanted to share with you and that we hope can be the kickoff to implement strategies, analyze points that perhaps go unnoticed, and take advantage of 100%. Yep. In the case of our customers, the benefits and advantages offered by Autologica. I leave today's 10 ideas on screen for you to make a quick review. And while I remind you that you can leave questions that I will take the time to answer to clarify any doubts or to provide more information. In case you would like to receive more data and information about the DMS for those who are not customers yet, you can indicate it in the form at the end of this course, and we will gladly provide you with more information, or we can also arrange an online demo specific for you to see it live. Without further ado, I thank you again for your attendance and time, and I hope to see you at our next webinar next month. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you have a great day.